Welcome to the Tearing It Up podcast. I'm your host, Taryn. We'll be tearing it up, tearing it down, and tearing it apart, dissecting all things related to those who deviate from the standard. From leaders of their industry to leaders of mediocrity, and maybe a gear review or two thrown in. We shoot the shit and let the conversations flow, so if that's not your style, this may not be for you. Otherwise, listen in. Hope to light a fire in you somehow.
Recording in progress. I beat her to it.
You nailed it. You did. You beat her to it. You beat her to it. I am just so automatic on my computer about going to, or phone too. When I see notifications, I was instantly about to click my email and read the 4 unread emails. Like, pay the fuck attention. I need to make this thing full screen here. So that, like, there we go.
Block everything out. Fuck all the other tabs.
All my widgets are away. I can't see what's happening.
Bye.
It's after hours.
It's TNA evening.
It is TNA. You have a glass of wine, right?
Yes, bitch.
I was thinking about having a beer, but now I'm all hooked up and the fridge is over there. I did have one before. I had a quick one in town, so I'll be fine. And besides, it might make me too chatty and get off. Well, I feel like I'll veer off of subject, but we always do that anyway. So, like, really, is that
what's the difference?
I don't know, but I do think I'm having a wonderful hair day. I can't stop fucking with it.
Yeah. I agree. It looks great.
It's fluffy. It's so fluffy.
I wish it would
stay this way. It might be because of these poofy headphones making it perfect, but
yeah.
Perfect for nobody. Like, I dressed up last week.
Perfect for nobody. I hear that.
I dressed up. I had a t-shirt dress from Target on and my cute little like turquoise booties that I have. It was just a Friday and I was like, you know what? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not bloated, even if I was. This is a t-shirt dress, and I'm gonna put a sweater over the top. But it felt so good to dress up, even though I wasn't going anywhere. Like, I literally went to the store and sat in the office for hours and worked.
Nice.
And then after that, had no plans.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh man, it's gonna be a bummer if I just like go home. But Andrew and I did go out and have a drink, but still, we're sitting down, like, no one's seeing me. But sometimes you have these
or something.
I know, because sometimes you have these great outfits or great hair days and you're just like, wow, what a waste, you know?
Yeah.
Like, shoot, no one saw this, no one witnessed this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it makes you feel good about yourself, and when you're feeling yourself, then man, it's just a good time.
Yes.
It's just
the
great.
world is your oyster.
It is. It's just insane that this week, to me, the last week, I guess, because it's Monday, the last 7 days, I feel like I've been a 180 to how I had been feeling. And I know this can happen, as we talk about, with especially hormones, women. Oh my God, balloons now floating in my screen. There's got to be some kind of words that I'm saying that are putting off these reactions on Zoom. And I don't know what kind of settings this are. So if anyone out there in the world is very familiar with Zoom, like I thought I was, but apparently I'm just having animations come across my screen when I say certain things. So anyways, balloons floated. So I've had a great week. But what I was going to say is we've talked about the fluctuations in hormones and how they just affect everything, mood. But what's been hard for me is the last month prior to the past 7 days, I was like in a big funk, and it was super annoying that I wasn't feeling like the huge peaks and valleys of like, oh, I'm feeling great, I'm at this point in my cycle or whatever, so things are good and light and happy. And it was just like a straight fucking dark cloud for a month of just gloominess. And so it's kind of weird then when you get into on the other side, because I get like waiting for that other shoe to drop, like, okay, it's been a great week, but is it gonna be like tomorrow that I'm like, okay, next phase of my cycle, so I'm like back to the fucking Eeyore?
Yeah.
But I've just been feeling great. Some of my workouts were just super good, and I haven't been fueling myself with nutrition very well.
Yeah.
Which, you know, isn't good, but the fact that I've still had this high energy, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, it's been really great, but like I said, I'm just afraid of that other shoe dropping, of going back into the dumps of like, okay, now we're slow moving. But God, can I
Do
just feel this
you,
way all the time?
for real, do you generally get seasonal depression?
No. I don't think so. I mean, I get more anxiety about just the darkness when the time change
Yeah.
happens. And as soon as it's dark out, I'm like, oh my fucking God, it is the middle of the night suddenly, and we haven't had dinner, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so but yeah, I don't feel like I get kind of just down in the dumps if it's not sunny. And I know a lot of people in Washington can still have seasonal affective disorder and suffer from it, especially people in the Northwest. But at the same time, I feel like because I'm from there and experienced so many winters and falls and dreary days, that now here in Tahoe, I kind of love it when it's
Yeah.
dreary out because
Yeah.
it's not always. So I don't think that it affects me. I think a lot of people here were affected last winter because it was such a stormy, kind of dark, gray winter. And for me, I was fucking thriving.
Yeah. Okay. I love that.
Because one, I love the winter. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I have winter sports I like to do. I loved being able to cozy up and work from home all day and not feel the pressure of the sun being out every day and like I have to be out there because it's I guess it's kind of opposite for me when it's sunny every fucking day all day. I'm more like have this pressure on myself of I need to do something outside all day every fucking day and feel
Yeah.
bad about not taking advantage of that. And then when it's not, I'm like, oh yay, like I don't have to feel bad about working inside and on the computer
Yeah.
all day or like wanting to go to the gym instead of ride my bike outside because I
Yeah.
enjoy the fucking gym and I enjoy being outside. But in the winter I can feel better about loving my indoor activities.
Mm-hmm.
But
100%.
yeah, the darkness gets to me. The short days just
Yeah.
make me feel like I should be inside by 5 o'clock and the day is over and I cannot do anything else. And that just
Yeah.
fucks with my productivity.
100. Yeah.
But
Natural for sure.
yeah, but like it's been really great this week, but
Good.
I'm just like, okay, is this like am I back to just normal?
Yeah.
Or is this just our hormone levels like just way high and exaggerated now they're gonna like totally completely drop on me. Um but I just got to ride the wave as it
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And I've also been just feeling good and productive and not overwhelmed because I definitely get the paralysis by analysis. And when I have so much to do, get overwhelmed and then um, feel all those things. So I just feel like I've been able to kind of stay on track
On
and
top.
focused.
Awesome.
But
That's
yeah,
a great feeling.
yeah, hopefully that lasts a little while here and not just, one
Especially
weekend done.
especially with what you do, the like time management of it all. Cause like you're wearing a few different hats. And so
Mm-hmm.
like delegating your time, where to delegate your time, where to prioritize your things, like it's so hard. It's so easy to do that. And it's so hard to keep track. It's
Yeah. Yeah, I think that with this last week too, I've just had a few projects specifically that I could put my focus on. So I think that helped with keeping me on track. It's not
Mhm.
having not letting my focus go to a million different things. I was like, nope, I have these priorities. So that's where I know I'm at. And that's kind of where like plan your week with Julia comes in. I didn't do it today because I just sat down and went straight to work so I could go for a bike ride this afternoon. But again, because I still had these tasks of things I knew I needed to get done. So I didn't feel like I needed to do that. My week from last week was kind of a carryover. So
Yeah.
okay, I'm set. But setting and knowing your top priorities is
Yes.
kind of what can bring you back to reaching those goals. And goals
1,000.
are kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight, today, whatever time it is that you're listening to this, people in the world. Because we have the my 30-day program coming
You.
up. So if you're on my email list, you've gotten an invitation to join first because there's going to be just 20 spots. And then by the time you hear this, it will be open to anyone to join, like through social media and whatnot. The links will be posted. The link will be in the show notes of this podcast if there's still spots, which I'm sure there'll be a couple left by then. But anyways, that's going to start the 30th and it's going to go until the 28th. So it covers Thanksgiving. So hopefully that can help people that week and leading up to the holidays, of whether it's family or traveling or whatnot, that you have a plan. In these workouts you can essentially do from anywhere. You can do them without weights, but I think having weights or some kind of heavy inanimate object would be helpful for a lot of them. But anyway,
How heavy?
Just depends on you. That
Okay.
is totally, so that's the thing too. There's going to be long, not long, wide kind of variety of the amount of sets or reps that you can do, because it's going to depend on each person's current fitness level and what you have available to you. So someone who hasn't, worked out or done much activity in a long time is going to do something that looks very different from you, Amber.
Yeah.
But the idea is that these workouts are simple and can be done by everybody because they can be modified how you need them to. You're going to have the option to see how your body's feeling too, and especially how it's reacting. So, if you're going hard out of the gate, you're going to realize, oh shit, maybe, you
Reel
want to
it
be able
in.
to walk the next day. Feeling a
Yeah.
soreness is good. You have a sign, but
Shouldn't be debilitating.
it shouldn't be debilitating. So it's something too that I feel a lot of us it's hard to remember because we're, again, mostly taught, especially our generation, of like
Tough
no
it out.
pain. Yeah, no, tough it out, no pain, no gain and stuff, right? So you want to go 100% or 120%. But again, if you haven't done a program in a while, like, don't be worried about starting the first week off slow,
Yeah.
because you want to see, like I said, how your body is reacting. And then, like, okay, I felt great after Monday. So Tuesday I can, or Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever the next workout is, like, I can pick it up a notch. I can
Yeah.
do that extra set, or I can do 2 more reps in each set, or I'm going to add weight. And for some of the options, it might be I'm going to add a little bit of speed, a little less rest between these exercises. So I just really want people to take their time with it, especially if you haven't been working out, to see where you're at instead of going full ham the first workout and thinking like, oh, this isn't for me. Like, you can make
Or
anything
it's going
work
to
for you.
change in a day. Things are going to change in a day. It's a 30-day program. Like, stick with the program.
Yeah. And I mean, I do this with myself. Like, I up the reps or weights. You can't say, oh, that workout did nothing for me. Like, well, you can make it do something for you. Do it heavier, do more. Like, a squat is a squat. It's going to look different from someone else. I said, you're either going to do a body weight squat 20 times and that's going to be enough for you, or you're like, well, shoot, actually, I need to be squatting 200 pounds. I mean, like, but you have to take time to figure that out if you don't know where you're at. And a lot of people, I think, doing this program are not going to know exactly where they're at right now. So that's why I stress, like, take the first week to figure out, because this might be only 30 days of us as a group doing this together. But guess what? You can keep going after that. You can continue it on. You can keep the same exercises, because that's another thing that I have fallen victim to, especially at the time that I came into this industry and became a personal trainer, of Instagram and fitness influencers and seeing all these crazy modalities and exercises and hit classes where you're just doing all this stuff and crazy things and you think that's what you need to build strength. But it's like, no, those are cool and great and fun and can help for some people and some things and some goals. But for the most part, if you do the same exercises all the time, but you're changing the weight, the reps, and the sets, then you can still see progressive overload, or use progressive overload to see results, rather.
What's progressive overload? Like,
that is adding the weight, adding the reps, and adding the sets. So that's
even though your body's not ready.
Well, you're getting ready. So progressively overload. So you'll take these simple basic exercises, and by using progressive overload, you will build strength even though you're doing the same exercises.
Got it.
Because like, so you're adding the weight, the reps, or the sets.
Okay.
If you're doing the same exercises week to week, month to month, and not changing anything, that's when you don't see results.
Got it.
But if you deadlifts, squats, the main kind of big movements or lifts, there's a reason that people who are well into their career of weightlifting or still do those exercises because
Yeah.
they fucking work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They keep you strong, and like depending on your goals, like you're still, if you people are squatting 400 500 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
So I
That's
don't think
crazy.
that most of us are gonna ever come to the point where like a squat's doing nothing.
Yeah. 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 Something's better than nothing, which is a trend we've kind of been on this past week where it's like just move it and you won't lose it, and
Yeah,
or
exactly.
hopefully won't have those back pains. Like I know for me, like if I don't move, my back is like, you bitch.
Yeah. And so, I mean, things just take time. And again, being in an instant gratification society, we want to see results quickly. So, if we're not
Yeah.
seeing results quickly, people give up and quit. And so, what we have to do, and I'm not a fucking champion at doing this. It's very hard for me to stick to things because I too live in the same society as everyone else of
Yeah.
instant gratification and wanting that. And when I don't see changes, it gets really fucking hard to stick to something, which is why
Totally.
I've created this free program, because
Ooh.
I fucking know firsthand how hard it is. And especially when you don't have people like, I mean, I have people
Holding.
supporting me in my life, but you know, like who doing the same thing, going
Yeah.
towards a similar goal. So I would like to hopefully before the program starts, like the Sunday before, maybe hop in on our Facebook group or do a Zoom call and maybe do a podcast like this, and people can join in and ask questions or whatnot. I just want to
Yeah.
give these for
I
people. And
love
even
that
if you're
idea.
not joining the program, I don't want to make this episode only about that, but for in general, if you want to get somewhere in life, you know, you need to set your goal, right? What is
Yeah.
your goal? And so, for the purpose of this, we're talking about fitness. What would be your goal out of the 30-day program? Whether you're doing it with me or doing it by yourself and you want to get started, what's your goal? Like setting a couple that are specific. Like, again, squatting's just easy. So I want to be able to squat 100 pounds. Okay, great. We know where you're at. Now you kind of know where to start. What you're going to do this week is squat 10 pounds. See how you feel. Can you walk the next day? Because
Yeah.
literally, if you're going from the couch to doing 20 squats with 10 pounds, you're still going
You'll
to feel
rock
something. Even
your.
if you're doing body weight squats, you're still going to feel something. So
Yep.
you might be like, okay, well, wait, maybe my short term goal for a month would be like, by the end of this month, I'd like to be able to do 15 reps with 20 pounds. Um,
Do you want the goals to be that specific, or could they be more broad?
they need to be pretty specific. Now, you don't need
Okay.
to get like with weight. Again, like we don't have to, a lot of people won't be doing, I want to squat, like, you know, or deadlift or whatever, this much weight, because many people aren't going to be in a gym, and people out there who are just trying to get going again on a workout routine and aren't going to a gym. Then it could be broad in the sense of what your goal is to work out 3 times a week
There you go. Yeah.
or a
I
month.
love that. I'm
Easy as that.
That's my goal. 3 times a week.
3 times a
I'm going to
week.
start with two. Twice. Two wise.
And that's fine, because and then if you know, the program specifically has 3 workouts a week, but the goal setting comes to being realistic too. So just because there's 3 workouts a week doesn't mean you have to stick to them. If you're looking at your life and you're like, I have a full-time job, I have a kid, I'm going to school, whatever it is in your life, like and I'm going from 0 to 60.
Yeah.
If I set the goal of working out 3 times a week and I miss one, and I'm going to be down on myself and just want to quit and think I can't do it, like, be realistic. Look at your life. What's around you? Do you really have time to set aside 3 times a week in the morning or the evening to give yourself 30 to 45 minutes, whatever, and do this? Because I want people to set their goals at a realistic level where they're not going to feel disappointed and quit. So your goals
Yes.
do need to
Yes.
be
Yes.
specific, but they also need to be attainable.
Yes. Loving this. You're so passionate about this. I can just hear it in the way you're talking about it. I love it.
Well, and they need to be measurable too. That's where it comes to into specificity, because for me, choosing like a weight is measurable because
Yeah.
I can see that number. I can say like, "Oh, I tried to squat this amount and maybe I failed the squat," or like, "Oh, I hit this number. I'm I'm seeing my progress go up. I'm getting stronger." But again, it could be with just reps or workouts. I'm going to start with, I want to work out 1 time this week. Great.
Yeah.
What's the goal next week? 2 times?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Like, it's attainable and it's measurable because you've now seen that you did it once, you did it twice, you did 3 reps, 5 sets, whatever. Find, and even again, even if you're in this program, you might not be setting goals specific to like working out.
Yeah.
It could be like, your goal is just giving yourself some personal time. What do you want out of this
Love that.
month?
Love that. Yes.
So
More of
there's
that.
many, many different things. Um, and again, just like I said, in life, setting a goal and a measurable, attainable, and a time bound goal, because we can have big goals that, in my life, I just want to be happy. That's
Yeah.
great. What a good goal. Lovely.
Yes.
But now, how are you going to get there? You need smaller goals to get there. What is going to help you get there? What is going to make you happy? Having a job that you're passionate about? Cool. Now, how do you get there? Does that mean you have to go to school? Like, for another little thumbs up here. So for you, Amber, for instance, like breaking it down into life, like, okay, I want to have like a career in this field. Now you start breaking it down from there. So sometimes it's like reverse engineering your goal, starting from the
Totally.
top and figuring out how you can get there, instead of like, okay, what are all the 10 steps on my way up there? I
Yeah.
think it can be easier to start with what it is and then break it down, that chain on the way down. Um, but knowing, for instance, like, okay, I'm going to school to get my bachelor's, and that is, a 2 year or year and a half, whatever that commitment is. That's a time bound commitment. That's a time bound goal. And when you don't have a timeline, that just makes it where, like, well, eventually I want
Yes.
this. And it just doesn't help you stay accountable to reaching it. And that's fine, because some goals just won't have a time frame. Like I said, just
Yeah.
being happy in life. It's like,
Hmm.
there's not a time frame around like, I have to be happy by 37. Like, happy, completely happy, nothing ever will change. That's just ridiculous anyways, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Totally.
So that's why when you look at something small like a 30-day program, it's a really short program when it comes to getting a fitness routine or routine in. I mean,
Yeah.
any kind of habit or routine really is just a life change and lifestyle.
Yep.
So it has to be more than that, but the 30 days at least trying to stick to it will help propel people to keep going and show them that, like, hey, in 30 days, I did this. So I can keep going, and now I can reach this goal and get to this step, and just keep it going. And your goals will change, and they should change. They should change and they should grow. Once you reach your goal, usually you're not just like, huh, cool, that's it. Like, you're looking for the next thing. And this is where a lot of athletes get the blues and get bummed out after
Yeah.
huge events. Like Olympians, they spend fucking years. I mean, 4 years minimum between games. But if it's your first time at the Olympics, you have maybe spent your entire fucking life building up to that. So the Olympics happen and you get to them, and whatever happens there happens, but then it's over. Now what?
Yeah.
They're just like, they have a hard time coming down from
But
something they
reaching
were,
the,
yep, from reaching the goal, and they had something they were working towards for so long. And if they're not doing that again, then like, what is next? And I mean, I've done that. I've You just on a vacation or something, right? You have so much fun. You come home, you're like,
totally.
wow, like the vacation blues, the
Yeah.
going back to school after winter break, anything like that. I think we've all been there, where we've been to the height of something in our life, a fun time or goal reached, and then you do have to come back down.
Yep.
Or can you set another goal and start working towards that.
Yep.
But, it's not to say it's like you don't always have to have something super specific and be working your ass off and training towards something, but
Amen. A woman.
yeah. But
Well,
it helps. I mean, I like to have something specific because I get into like just feel stagnant, I guess, when I don't.
yeah,
And I
same.
think we've all been there in life, and probably especially in the last couple of years of life being so crazy and not knowing what's going to happen. I think that it's been hard for people to set goals because
Mm-hmm.
they've been afraid of like, well, what if the world fucking ends or this gets shut
Yeah.
down or that? Like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
But we just can't, think like that.
Easier
So
said than done.
absolutely, absolutely.
Well, to train for this program, I've been walking.
That's great. That is
And
great.
it feels so good. Like actually today I wasn't prepared for running, but I did a little bit of running in some jeans, baby.
Oh,
I was
what? Were
actually
you
yeah,
running
I
after like a UPS man?
no, I finished up doing some stuff that I was doing at a coffee shop and then I was like, I'm gonna go to a friend's house and then it was too far and so I went over to Chambers Bay and was like before I had to pick up Quincy, I was like, okay, I'm going to walk Chambers Bay. And then I was like, oh crap, I don't have enough time to pick him up. So I had to start running. So I was doing like the run jog thing where you like run for a little bit and then you walk and then you run for a little bit and walk, which is like, oh God, it felt great. It felt so good, man.
I love
But I
that
was
you're
also
just doing
like,
that in
my
your
pants are
jeans.
falling down. But I
That's
was running with confidence. Like I was just like, you know what? I just like, I'm out here doing my fucking thing. And here we go. Running in
that
jeans, baby.
that is great. That is great. Um, well, yeah, I just think that, like I said, whether there's going to be plenty of people listening to this who are not, doing the program, but if you want to set a goal, that's how you do it. Smartly is what it is, because it's the acronym SMART: specific, measurable, attainable. God, I always forget
Time,
fucking R.
timeline,
Time bound, but R.
time
I
bound.
want to say reachable, but
Oh,
I'm like, is that really? Because like attainable is like the same thing.
yeah.
But anyways, so those are the thing relevant. So I
Relevant.
put in to me like achievable and relevant are kind of one and the same because I think about it as if it's not relevant, it's not gonna be achievable. But again,
Totally.
that's gonna be different for everybody. But yeah, if it's a goal's not relevant to your life, then
What's the fucking point?
what is the point? What is the point, and how are you going to make it happen? Because, and that's why I put it in like achievable and relevant kind of in the same bucket, because it comes down to like what I said earlier. Think about it realistically. Are you gonna be able to set aside the time to reach your goal, whatever that is? If it's you need an hour of schoolwork every day to yourself to get an A on this test or pass this class or whatever. And is that goal, finishing the course, getting the A, that is that relevant to your life? Because if it's not, you're not going to care about it.
Yeah.
So there's just so many ways to look at the relevance. Like I said, if it's not relevant to your life, it means nothing to you. It doesn't bring you any joy, happiness, or any kind of blooming effect.
Yeah.
Then it's
What's the
not.
fucking point?
Yeah. So, and I mean, start small. I think that's how we all like I said. You have to start small to get to the bigger
Yeah.
steps. And we've talked about this with checklists. Like sometimes I add something I've already done to my to-do list after the
Yeah.
fact that it's done because marking that off
Boop.
feels so good. So having those small goals, especially starting small, you're seeing them get done. You're seeing
Yeah.
yourself complete them, and that just gives
Be
you the moment
attained, if you will.
be attained
Yep.
um and achieved. And so that just gives you momentum to
Yes.
reach those bigger goals because you've got confidence now as well that, hey, I did this, so why can't I get that bigger goal?
Oh
Like when
no.
you go just straight out of the gate, then heavy and fast and feel like you're failing, then you give up a lot. I've
Yeah.
given up plenty of goals.
Dude,
So,
same.
so and find a buddy too. I think that telling
Yes.
someone your goals, again, doesn't have to be fitness related, but talking to a friend or someone about them, I just feel like for one, getting woo woo here, like you're getting it out into the universe. You have spoken your goal into the universe. You've put it into the world that I want this in life.
Yeah.
And then when you're telling someone else, especially a good pal, you know, I think that's great. And they come back to you like, hey, so how the fuck is that going? And you're
Yeah.
like, well,
Yeah.
by the way, not too good. Thanks for reminding me. I'm actually going to go work on that right now,
Yeah.
whatever. But I do think sharing it with people can help again with that accountability and just putting it into the world. And, maybe too, that person be, you know what? I would like to join you. And then you just have a buddy too helping you get the steps. Or they might know someone like, my goal is to like fucking write an article and be published. Like, oh well, I know the editor of this, whatever,
Exactly.
networking kind of thing. So you just should speak the fucking things you want, because you never
Yeah.
know how it's going to turn out when you start talking about it and trying and putting it into the world. Like, that's when doors open. So
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
I love that. I love everything you just said. That was so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. I think it's the
Yes.
hair.
Yeah, totally.
But and so with that too, mindset, I mean, mindset can be towards your goals or just in general. I was thinking about, again, I don't want to get too off in a tangent, but what made me think about wanting to talk about mindset was this morning, and again, fitness related, is just body image, right? We've talked about it a lot, and it's talked about a lot in social media
Yeah.
and whatnot. And
Which thank God, because it really wasn't when we were in our teenage years.
yeah, it was just like, here's what you should look like, or here's what,
Victoria model
yeah,
secrets look like.
yeah, and Abercrombie and Fitch, this, that, and
Yeah.
the other, whatever it was just like, this is what you should look like and nothing else.
Yeah.
Um, and now it's being recognized that people have body image
Different
issues,
bodies
yeah, and
and
different
different
bodies.
bodies.
So, but there's also, everyone says like, oh, you should love yourself and love your body and blah 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 blah. But it is so hard still when you live in a society that we're more open to the conversation. But the fact is, being certain body types and shapes and sizes is still not easy, because things are just not made
Yes.
for every body shape and size, and brands are coming about, and they're trying to be inclusive and adding more sizes. But the problem I have with people just upping their size range is that that's all it is a few inches added to that size 6 fit model.
Yep.
And what gets really frustrating to me is like trying to have a good body image and feel good and great about myself because my body is so strong. Like, well, I still don't feel that great about it, because like shit still doesn't fit. I still
Yeah.
like feel like a fucking giant,
Mm-hmm.
because wearing an extra large, like, doesn't fit me here or there. I'm like, again, because they just added inches in certain parts instead of thinking about like, oh, an extra large person doesn't mean they're just wide in this area and short here. I might
Yeah.
have to wear an extra large because I'm 7 feet tall, like, obviously that's rare. But it just gets frustrating that we're just told like, love your body, blah 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 blah. But there's still so much out there causing us not to love our bodies. So
So
how
much.
how do we change our mindset around our body image? Because sometimes, I think a lot of times, rather, especially again when it comes to fitness, is that stuff can unmotivate you. I've gone
Yeah.
through plenty of phases where I just am not motivated or inspired or whatever to work out, because I'm like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
I'm not getting smaller. And we, as women, shouldn't want to or need to feel like we need to be smaller. But
But
the only thing it's telling me to, because the fucking clothes don't fit.
And what the images, the advertisements, the Hollywood movies, the magazine covers, like all this shit we're being advertised to is that standard petite feminine body, and not everyone has that even
Exactly.
close.
And
And like tall, like, there's so many like different body types, but
yep.
luckily today in this day and age we're seeing more and more of like normal people in
hmm
ads.
And so that's where it's like gets frustrating because even with fitness and working out, a place that's supposed to, encourage being strong and powerful and larger. And I'm like, well, all these brands, especially a lot of kind of like CrossFit brands or whatnot. I'm like, why are all your tops crop tops? Like,
That's what, yeah.
you're like empowering very strong, big ass thighs, but you're not like over here looking at the women who are lifting those weights, but not a tiny waist with big thighs. So the
Yeah.
fact that the fitness industry itself is kind of putting out these messages at times is really annoying. Like, okay, I feel I'm very fucking strong, but I don't look like that buff ass like
Yeah.
leaned out person. And I still feel a sense of not belonging. And when you
Yeah.
feel that way, sometimes you just want to like kind of quit and just like, what's the fucking point? But your mindset is like, oh yeah, the point is I want to feel good. I want to feel strong. I think it's frustrating not like looking the part, but
Yes, it is.
you just still the mindset, man, it's really hard to get out of the negative,
It is so hard.
and your mind has to be in that right place to reach your goals,
A
whatever
thousand
they are,
percent.
whether they're fitness related or not. And so I don't have an answer. I don't even really know if I have a question. It's just,
Yeah.
I
Bringing
mean,
light to that subject.
yeah, that if your mind's not in the right place, you're not going to reach your goals. But how do
Yes.
you get your mind in the right place? I can't really fucking tell you because it depends, right? You
Yeah,
have to
it
figure
is
that
all
out.
dependent.
Yeah, it's going to be something you have to figure out on your own of what do you need. You really have to
Yeah.
take a look inside and try to determine what you personally need that can maybe help you reach the goal. Again, is it like just time, silence, an hour to yourself that no one fucking talks to you? Is it help? Like, I
Yeah.
need someone to come do the fucking dishes for me 3 times
Yeah.
a week, or I need childcare. I need a fucking mentor, a tutor, or whatever. Figure out what can take a little bit of weight off of your shoulders, and that might help you get in the right mindset. But it's
Yeah.
just
Or even like starting with knowing how to ask for
for
help.
help. Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
My gosh, Quincy, you're making me nervous. Quincy was making a bowl of cereal in the kitchen, and I'm sitting over here watching him, and his bowl is just heaping over, and he nailed it.
I just saw your eyes look over. I was like, did you just see a ghost? But so
No.
two big things, goals, setting them. Hopefully we gave you some tools on how to go about setting a goal, because there is a way okay,
Yes.
I don't want to say like a wrong way and a right way, but there is a more achievable way to
Thank
set
you.
goals.
Yes. Yes, I love
And
that.
um so maybe having those tools in that little acronym there can help you set your goals so that you're not feeling like you're just failing all the time. Because
Yep.
then I know how that goes for sure, setting goals but not kind of outlining them and just
Yeah.
feeling like, cool, missed the boat on that one. I mean, I just like even fucking taking the sturdy dirty. Right? Yeah, I got hurt from my crash, but the reason why I like to sign up for things like that, events, races, or whatever, because I'm like, oh, this will keep me accountable. So there we go. And that goal of doing that race is it's time bound.
Yep.
By choosing the beginner course, that's something that's achievable. Mountain
Yep.
biking and whatever, and I love to do that as a pastime, so it's relevant to my life.
Yes.
Is pretty specific because I knew what the race was, and measurable because I can keep track of my progress riding, like
Yeah.
whether that's uh like timing the trails I'm doing or just noticing like a certain feature feels better or easier, so it's measurable in that sense. But I've signed up for plenty of things like that I they weren't relevant to my life, like a run. I'm like, I fucking hate running. So
Yeah.
automatically this is gonna be hard to do. Um but yeah, like I said, hopefully those little tips can help you set some goals, and then just thinking about your mindset and knowing that we're right there with you when it's all fucked up and your mind's just not with it, and how hard it can be to get your mind in the right place. Like I said, for over a month for me, it was just like a fog. And now all of a sudden this week, I'm like fucking high on life, but who
Yep.
knows what it will be next
And
week.
it sucks because when you are in those funks and when you are like not doing good in life, you don't want to reach out to people because you're
Yep.
like, oh man, I'm being a drag. I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't do X, Y, and Z. I should not record the podcast today because I'm not feeling so great, which
Yep.
was a situation that happened with you. And it's like,
Exactly.
we need to talk about these things because mental health is so important. And if
Mm-hmm.
you are struggling, there is help out there. There
Mm-hmm.
is help
And
out
even
there.
just acknowledging, like, so that you don't have to go into the weeds and to the details with people all the time, especially if you're not comfortable. But even just being able to say, like, hey, I'm not doing that great. Like, I'm
Yes.
okay, but I'm not like myself.
Yes.
As simple as that, just to, I think, people know where you're at least, and they can be there for you on the drop of the hat if something does get like, if you do need the help or you need someone to like reach out to, whatnot. Um,
Also knowing that you truly are not alone. Like we all
yeah,
have ups and downs. All of us. Doesn't matter what the hell
absolutely.
we're posting on social media. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter like how we project ourselves in the world. Like times are hard.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Always. And life is just that, peaks and valleys all the time.
Yes.
And I know, like, so for me, this last week of feeling real good and getting after it, I'm hoping that again, momentum kind of carries me, like keeps me going and moving. And I just have to keep that momentum up. And, but yeah, you can have the right mindset. If you're not ready to go for those goals right now, that's fine. That is
Yeah.
okay. You don't have to be. You got to figure out what you need to do to get yourself in the place to do it. Because again, it could be more detrimental to just set a bunch of goals and not be in the right mindset and then just fail. And again, it makes it just worse. Like, oh, great, set all these goals, didn't make them. Now I just feel worse about myself. Like, don't set yourself up for failure. Just be real with yourself that like now's not a good time. So I'm going to need to like give myself a little space before I try to reach that goal. So yeah, I think that kind of covers it for me.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I could tell that you were very passionate about it. And I would love to acknowledge the fact that it's really incredible that you've put this together and you're putting it out there for free. Like all your expertise, all your knowledge, your passion, like people should be very appreciative that this is happening and actually do it. And all the people who I invited to this, if you don't do this, we are no longer friends. Just kidding.
At least for the month. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll those who are listening who have joined will be in a Facebook group. And if you cannot join for some reason or want to, or you want more information or anything, I mean, look at the show notes, follow us, reach out to me directly, anything. Because maybe too, like group programming isn't the thing for everybody. Sometimes you do really need specific stuff to you. But yeah, this is just a start for people. Again, just trying to get people moving forward into this time of the year that
Yes.
that seasonal affective disorder can hit folks, and you can start kind of feeling gloomy and down. So we're kind of trying to be preventative here. Hit it before
Yes.
get it before it hits. So like, hey, look, we're all in it together. Gonna fight
Also,
off the winter blues and keep
yes.
ourselves moving and grooving.
And a great thing to do before the snowboarding ski season hits.
Exactly. Much better than just like trying to get off the couch on day one. Be like, what?
Yep.
Because, like I said, it gives us a good amount of time before most resorts are really fully going, that you can, after the 30 days, just keep going and keep yourself motivated and moving. And like I said, figure out what works for you and how you're going to progress and reach those goals.
Yes, it can be done.
Yes, absolutely. Well, yes. So in the show notes, you will find the sign up to the program, information to follow us. Like I said, reach out to me if you have any specific questions for personal training or plans or anything like that. And then I think that's it. We're over and out for this episode, everybody.
Yep, and I got a little monkey on my back wanting my attention.
I
so.
see that. So we are gonna get out of here, get to our evening routines, and we'll talk to you guys all next week.
Bye.
Bye. We hope you enjoyed this episode and would do us a huge favor, since we don't have any sponsors or anything like that, and would rate and review us on whatever platform it is you use, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, whatever it is. And if you're listening and downloading just through the website, tearingituppodcast.com, leave comments. We'll definitely engage back with you. And on social media right now, we're just on Instagram. Tearing It Up Podcast is the handle. Like the post, share the post, comment on the post, whatever it is you got. Show us your love so we just stay relevant and show up in the rankings at all. So again, rate and review, please. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.